Hello everyone. In previous video we discussed about how to create model and view model. And one more time I will repeat what is the difference between view model and model. So model is nothing but what is the actual data from the database, and view model is nothing but what kind of data you want to show to the user. It's mean for example, you have an employee class in the database. It has the 4 property ID and first name. So this is what you're going to get the actual data from the database. When you want to show to the user, you don't want to show with the user with the same name, or if you want to show the same name you can show it, but I don't want to show all the things. What I can do it, so I can create a view model which is really required. So what I want to show to the user, for that information will be resides under the view model. Okay, this is what is the difference between view model and model. Okay, last time in previous video we added one view for the index. Go to the view, so we have it. So let's make it a little bit. So what I'm going to do it, first I will make it, I will creating a table for this. The table which is green border 1, and I have one row. The row have table header, so it's we have only 2 property, right? First name, so I'm giving as a first name. We have last name. Okay, so after that I'm going to copy this code inside here. Okay, so I'm going to create a new row, td. So this is header section, right? So we can put t-head like this. This is a table body, right? We can put table body. So here what I want to do it, first is write down first name, okay. So what I'm telling, I created one table and I'm putting table header and just looping with. So whenever putting this at, it's nothing but your server side code. Server side code is nothing but C# code you're using. This is nothing but client side, right? It's a client side. It's nothing but pure HTML. And this is server code, server side code. Okay, just I'm saving. Just run this application. So right now we can see that our application how it looks. First name and last name. Okay. So this is our table, how it looks like. So in case, so right now we have only one data, that's why it's showing like this. Okay, so let it be basic application. Now what we do it, so what we done it, we just pull the data from the database and we showed it. Now we will create one more action to create a employee in our database. Okay, for that what I'm going to do it, I'm creating another method in the employee control. Public action result. So I'm just have one method called add employee. Okay. So whenever initially you are going to, when then first time when the user request for that add employee page, that should be displayed. So without having data, it should be displayed. So for that, I'm just returning a view, normal, because and I'm just going to just returning a view. That's it. So that view we have to design how should look it. So go to add view and add employee and template let it be empty. We will discuss about how to create these templates and we will give the model classes. Now for adding purpose, what kind of model you wanted, that we have to decide one more time as well. Okay, that we have to create another view model for that as well, for this as well. Okay, what we have to do first, so you have to know what are the required field when you creating any employee class. Okay, so I'm telling that ID is identity column already and first name is really required, the email is, last name is not required and email is required. So I'm telling it, if either they're entering value for this last name, it's not a matter for me, but they should provide value for first name as well as the email. Okay, so that is my requirement. So how can I achieve that? So I have to create a view model for that. Add new class employee, add view model. So when I'm adding new employee for a particular table, I'm telling this should be there. So what the property you really required it. So I'm telling all the property I need it except ID. So I'm just copying this all the properties, copying it. In that I'm telling it these three fields are really required for me. So required. So this attribute is present using system.component.data annotation. Okay, so required, what is required? It's telling that this particular field is really required. That is what this attribute define it. So now after that I'm telling us that last name or email also required it. Last name I don't want it. Then how the email should be looked at? I'm telling the email should be email type. So I'm just giving us an email address. Okay, so this is nothing but a data annotation. Okay, so now we understood, we created for creating employee also we created one view model. Just build the solution. Okay, so now we'll create a view for this one. Add a view. So first is empty. I'm giving a model class for that. Employee add VM and DB context let it be empty. Add a view for that. Okay, now we just created an empty view. So first thing, how we have to design your page. So first what I am going to create. First thing, I have to create a form, right? Because I'm going to force the form. Okay, so what I'm just designing a page like dot using it, and we can use HTML dot begin form. So this is will give that to create a form. Okay, I need as a overload version. So this we'll discuss about later, and form dot method force or not. Okay, so right now you understood we have to create like this. Okay, always let it be right on plan. So what is this tag is using? I'm telling using you know that. So I'm just importing, just use the HTML begin form. It's nothing but it will create a for you form tag. So in that I'm telling it HTML dot label. Okay, so I'm going to use a strongly type label for You can give any name. I'm just using m such that m dot. So I'm telling first name. Okay, so this is the first name I want to display it. Okay, so what I'm going to do it first, I'm going to create a table. Inside the table I'm just creating first row. The first row should have the td. First td, it should have the label file, and after that second td I'm creating it. So in here I'm going to use a html dot text box form. So text box for what we do, this is strongly type as I said earlier. So I'm going to do m such that m dot first name. Okay, so first name, and same way. So we have another one is a last name and email as well. Okay, last name, so that email, right? So we put it. So this is three tables, right? So inside three table we have first row, second row, third row. So I'm going to create a new row, fourth row. It has 3D. So I just want to have the one particular button. So the button, what I'm going to type it, input type equal to submit, value. What is the value? Create employee. I'm just giving name for it, employee. Okay, that's it. Okay, you just see it how what I done it. Okay, so first what I done it, I created one method, public action recent add employee. I just written a return view because this method is going to return a view. Which method is going, which view is going to return? This method going to return add employee view. So in the add employee view, what kind of model I'm going to use? I'm going to use the view model called as employee add view model. So in the model it has a property called a first name, last name and email. So I just put using tab, this used to create a form tag for me. That's my shortcut. This is nothing but HTML helpers. Okay, so I'm telling begin form is beginning from here. Okay, if it form is beginning from here and it ends here. Okay, and I'm telling this, I'm creating a table, and in that first row, this one, in the first row there is a two part. One is a first name, another one is a text box. This is a label and this was text. Okay, same way for till the email. And last row I created one last row and I put a input type to submit. Why I mentioned submit button? This is a form, inside form is there, so it automatically forces the form. Okay, just save it, run this application. Okay, now we can see our page like this, first name, last name, email, like this. Okay, so now we have designed this page. Okay, so when I click that one, I have to do some action. So right now it's not happening any action. So I told that at using, right? So I created at using HTML begin form. Let's look that. Put F12. It's nothing, press F12. Just select the element. Go to this one particular form tag. So here you can see it, right? So it's created a form tag for us. But using HTML.begin form, it's nothing but creating a for you form tag. And it has the action called as employee add employee method.post. We didn't create still, it's a post form actually, okay? But still we didn't give that any kind of action because we're posting something, right? So that's a listen post. So what you have to do it to post. So we can mention here, first is a, you can see the overloaded version. So first is the what is an action name. So I'm going to tell that action name is a add employee only. Okay, and second action was controller. What controller? I'm telling you, say employee controller. And what is a method? Form method dot post. So it's a get at post. So I'm telling it's a post. Whenever this is a post form we are telling, right? So whenever the submit button clicks, you go to this particular controller and you invoke this method, and this is a post method you say to that. Okay, and so I'm just saving it. For example, we will put a breakpoint here. Okay, run the application. So I'm calling employee, add employee, enter. So it comes here. So I'm just pressing F5 right now. So we got the page. Now again I'm clicking it. So again hitting the same particular method. Actually it's wrong, right? Because when I'm posting, it should capture some value. So again it's going the same page and getting the hint set. So this method only for the get request, right? So my concern is, if I want to, this method should be done only get method, because when I'm posting it should go to some other method, right? So what we have to do to restrict that one, we have attribute called as HTTP verbs, like HTTP get. So this is will work only for the get method. So it's nothing but in browser requested. When you click the button, it means you're telling it here form as a post. So that time you should create another method. Okay, right now we'll save it, run this application. Okay, just go to our employee add employee. So right now it's a get request. I think we didn't put it, yeah, it came it. Okay, it comes here. Okay, now it's displaying the data. I'm clicking on create employee button. So right now it's telling the resource not found, because now it's a post request. That's why it's not hitting on this particular method. So I restricted. So how you can restrict it for get, post, or put, or update and delete and things? So by using action verbs. So there is a different action verbs, like HTTP get for only get purpose. So you can see it get request only, and post for post, and same way put is there for updating, and after that HTTP for delete. So it's whenever delete method action happening. So this we can discuss then later video session, what is the action verbs and how it reacts. Okay, right now it's let it be a HTTP get. Okay, so let it be HTTP get. So now what I want to do it, whenever this form posting, so I'm just going to create another method called as add employee that should take the parameter of these values. Okay, so what I'm going to create it for the action result, add employee. So let it be return type as a return view right now. We will discuss that one later. Okay, build the solution. So build failed. It's telling that employee control is already defined a member called as add employee with the same parameter type. So now thing is it should change the parameter type. So when you are posting the form, whenever clicking this button, you should capture value of the first name, last name and email from this text box. Where it will get stored? It will stored under this object employee add VM, right? So what we have to do is go here, just create an object of this particular employee VM and give the object for that. Okay, that's it. So now if you build the solution, it gets succeed. So this is what is a method overloading. See, class has the same name but different parameters, right? Data type same but different parameters is there. Okay, so this is the concept comes as a method overloading. So this one I want to restrict whenever the post method is happening only should be call. So I'm just putting stp post as a accept ops. Okay, just I'm putting here also breakpoint right now person and running this application. Okay, now we will request this page. First employee add employee, so it is nothing but a get request. So get request is on get. So we got it. I'm just entering ex. So we already have the data, so I'm just giving as a sample test. I'm just clicking create employee button. So now it's hit on the post method, and right now we can see this VM shift F9. So it has the capture the data, right? So this is the main advantage of using strongly typed. So I'm just telling strongly typed, right? Why we are using this strongly typed? It's nothing in this value of that it will hold to this particular model. Okay, and when you're creating object for this particular model, that will hold the value of that particular things. That's what how the MVC works. Why we should use a strongly typed it. So if you didn't use a strongly typed, when you're using like this, it will not retrieve the data. So this we will discuss about later. Right now we'll think about only strongly typed. So this is how the work is. Got it, right? Okay. Let's stop this application right now. We will come with another scenario. See, now we just post the form, we got the data. Okay. So, and how can I check this validation works or not? Right? For example, okay, what I'm going to do it. Already created an employee, right? Whenever the data comes, employees dot add so VM. Okay, so now right now VM will not accept it. I will tell you the way why the reason is save change, because this is expecting that object of the employee, but we are posing the object as an employee model. So for that, what we have to do it, we have to create a class of employee. Okay, m equal to new and m dot first name equal to vm dot first name and m dot last name equal to vm dot last name, m dot email equal to vm dot email. So I just adding the property for it. After that you can pass this particular item to here. And why we should use a db context dot save change? until you call these things, it will never get your data saved to the database. Okay. Right now we'll save it. We will run this application. Okay. Now let's navigate to call our employee add employee. So it's an HTTP head. So we got it, sample test, and so right now I'm giving only sample. So actually email is a required field, right? I'm not giving anything right now. I'm just creating employee. So it's on this particular point. What is the first name? None. Last name is none. So added to employee and save changes. We've done it. And it's trying to return view. So we are telling the return view. We didn't say any view. So that's why it will be didn't find it that particular view, or it may return the same view. Okay. Right now we'll go to our database. Okay. Now it has been inserted a new row. It has all the null value. It's not our scenario, right? We told it whenever the users request it, say it's been adding a new employee, at least the first name and last name should be email address required, and the email address should be an email address format, right? So how can I validate in the server side? Okay, to do that server side, what we have to do it? If model state dot is valid, so this will check that this submitted model is valid or not. Okay, if it is valid, then you do this action. Else you return it to the view, return a view with same you are going to return it, but the value should be this one. I'm saying it, what the center, that value should be written to the view. Okay. Now what I'm going to do it, I'm just saving this. I will explain one more time. See, this property will check the whatever the data is comes and that is valid or not. So valid or not, how we are defining, because of this one. So we have mentioned is required, right? If the data annotation has been presented, then it will come to know this applicable some kind of validation. If it is valid, if all the matches, if data annotation everything passes only, then it will become a valid. Until that it will be invalid. Okay. So I'm telling, if model is valid, then you do this action. If it is invalid, come to here and return to the same view, but whatever the data they enter, that you just return it. I'm saying it. Okay. Just run this application. Okay. Records this page, press F5, got it. Right now I'm giving his last name as a E, and these two fields are required, right? So I'm trying to force this one. Comes here, check that it's valid or not valid. So right now it's a false, comes here, and this view has the only last name as a value. It comes here, again it comes to return to the view, so it has the value. But right now it's not showing any validation message like first name is required or email address is required, like that, right? Like that, right? So how we can do that one? For that, come to add.apply.cs.html. So here what I'm going to do it, I'm going to display any kind of validation happening it. So you can do it HTML dot validate validation message for. This will show that what are the error happening for this particular field, that message will display it. I'll show it. M dot first name. Okay, so same thing for all other fields as well. So last name doesn't have anything right now, so we won't require it, but H it has it, so just give it. Okay, so what is a validation message for? Validation message for when if you mention as well data notation, right? Required range, regular expression, it's required email address, right? So when this model state is checked, the same is valid. If it is became as a true, then it will execute. If it became a false, when you're returning a view to the particular data, that message should be displayed, right? What is the error message? For that purpose, we are using validation message for. Okay, let's save it from this application. Right now I'm not entering anything yet. I'm just clicking create employee. So it's a certain breakpoint. That's that point. So now we can see that first name is required and last name required. Right now I'm just entered for this one. First name. I'm closing F5. So this time it's not showing to the email address. Fields, returning a view. Okay, it's not showing for this one. Sorry, because we made as a first name here, we just copy pasted, but we didn't do the correct things. Okay, just refresh this application one more time. Wait one more time. I will build the solution. Yes. So I just remove the breakpoint. I'm just having the breakpoint for only post. Build the solution. Execute. Okay. So now we can see the email is required. So what I'm going to do it, I'm just typing R only. I just not given any email valid field. Okay, so I'm just clicking create employee. Again it comes here, became invalid. Again it goes return it. So now the email field is not a valid email address. Once I give the email correct email address, then it gets saved. Okay, so now we can see in our database. Okay, so this is the way how we can do the validation. And now we have another one issue. After saving the correct data also, it's going to the same view, right? So it's not a correct way. So what we can do it, so I'm going to return to view, call this. So I just want to go for index. So once you save the data, you should go to the index. Right? Just okay. I'm giving as a example. Yes. T apply object. Okay, taking an enter. it's become a valid. It's creating and save the changes. Saved it. Now it's going to return a view called index. Okay. Right now it's throwing exception because when the first time it's returning a value, it's not a problem, right? So it has a 3 rows. One row has a null value. So because of the null value, it's throwing an error for us. Okay, but actually the data may not be a null. Getting? That's why it's throwing a null value here. Okay. That we will eradicate in next video. Right now we understood it, how to add an employee to the database by using a model, view model, and entity framework. Okay.